Hello, my name is Julie. Welcome to my channel. You're watching Treasures Made from Yarn. And in this video, I'll show you more about this Silly Socks pop flower yarn I got from Hobbii. So stay tuned because there'll be a tutorial on how I make this crochet sock. Anyway, this is Silly Socks flower pop. You're a size 1 weight yarn. Alright, I tried scanning this QR code and it went to like page can't be found, so this QR code don't work. Anyway, this is a 50-gram ball, or 1.75 ounces, 200 meters, or 218 yards. It is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and let's see, and usually, oh, we got the text standard. It's made in Turkey. And usually Hobbii just gives a lot number and a color number. Alright, so see what we're dealing with the colors with this. Let us get started making our mini sock. Okay, to get started, you want to make sure you have a couple stitch markers, scissors, and not shown is a little yarn needle. I don't have that yet, but you should have one of those too. I decided for this to use a 2.5 millimeter hook for this. So because it is, looks like you can see it's a size 1. So we're going to start and make a chain of 6. Alright, and don't necessarily have to, but we can work on the back lumps. We are going in the second chain from hook, do a single crochet, do that in the remaining 5. No, back. So now we should have 5 single crochets, chain 1. Or I should probably say we don't have to put it in the back lump. Chain 1, we turn and we work in the back loop. See, we have a front loop and a 2 loops together, front loop, back loop. We are working in the back loop, so we put 1 single crochet in the back loops of every stitch across. Chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to repeat that 1 single crochet in the back loop, and do that until you have a total of 20 rows. So yeah, chain 1 and in the back loops 5 single crochets in the back loops. So alright, I'm going to do 20 rows and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I have 20 rows, or you can look at your ridges. You got a ridge. You can see your ridges where the back loops is. So there should be about 10 ridges. Oh, there should be 10 ridges. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously you see I already have it to the side like this. So now we're going to work around the side and in continuous loops. In continuous rounds, sorry. So we want to put 20 single crochet along the side of the sock. And if you look at the ridge, for each ridge, there's 2 single crochets. So we're going to put 20, so that was 2. 4. There we have 20 single crochets. Now what we're going to do is bring this around. Bring that around. It's 1 single crochet in every single crochet. You can probably see where the beginning of the round is. This is going to be the back of the sock. So we're going to put 1 single crochet in every single crochet. About, I want to say about 5 to 7 rounds. This sock has 7 rounds, so about how long you want to make it. So we'll go about, we'll look at 5 to 6 rounds, and I will get back with you. Alright, so here I did about 7 rows. So now we're going to work on the heel flap. Alright, so now you want a single, okay, look, you're looking at our sock. This is going to be the very back. We want a single crochet till, I mean, we're going to eyeball it till the end of this sock. So maybe about, looks like 4 or 5 more. So we want to align and single crochet to the edge of the sock. So we moved so that we're at the end here, and that looks like this. That looks like this is the center. So what we're gonna do is chain 1 and turn our work, and now we're going to single crochet in the next 10 single crochets. So this is half of the total number. And then that should leave 10 that has not worked. Okay. Chain 1 and we turn, and then 1 single crochet. Again, the next 10. Alright, we're going to repeat that 2 more times, so you should have 4 rows on the heel flap of 10 single crochets. Alright, so now we have 4 rows of single crochet done, and we should be at this point. So now we're going to actually make the heel turn. So what we're going to do is we chained 1 already and single crochet in the next 6 single crochets. these 4, leave those 4 unworked, chain 1, and then we turn, single crochet in the next 2. We got 4 on side that not worked, chain 1, and we turn, single crochet in the next stitch. Alright, so this might be the hardest part. Alright, in the next single crochet, pick up a loop, the next stitch, get your side here, pick a stitch up from the side, then we go down and we pick up a stitch on one of the 4 unworked ones. 4 loops, draw yarn over and draw through all 4 loops, and single crochet in the next single crochet, chain 1 and turn, turn that, single crochet in the next 2, and then in this single crochet again we're going to pick up a loop, turn it on its side, pick up a loop on the side of them rows, pick up a stitch in one of the single crochets on the 4 unworked, yarn over and draw through all 4 loops. And do a single crochet in the next single crochet, chain 1, and we turn, single crochet here in the next 3, right, pick up a loop on the next stitch, turn it to the side, rows there, pick up a stitch there, pick up a stitch on one of the last remaining 2, yarn over and draw through all 4 loops, then single crochet in this last stitch, turn here, single crochet, 3 to 4, and then in this last one in here, put your hook in that, draw up a loop, turn your work to the side, pick up a loop from the side, then draw up a hoop in one of the last 2 remaining, yarn over and draw through all 4 loops, and we single crochet in the last, and there we have formed our heel. And then we have 6 stitches along the top here. We want to decrease these 6 stitches, so now we turn to the side of our heel flap, single crochet 5 single crochets along this heel flap, try not to make any gaps. Okay, so this is where our stitch marker comes in. We want a stitch marker. The 5th one we just did, Alright, now we're back down here, the 10 that we left unworked. Single crochet in those next 10. Alright, that is 10. Alright, so that was our one that was worked on the heel turn. So again, we want to put 5 single crochets evenly up the heel flap. So I'll put one here. And this is the one we want to mark that stitch with a stitch marker. So that was our first one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so this is one of the 6 we had left for the heel turn, so just single crochet across those 6. So again, we're back working in continuous rounds again. So we're going to single crochet until we are 2 stitches, or actually 1 stitch before the marker. So that's the mark. This is our mark stitch, and that's one before. So we're going to single crochet these 2 together. Take out my marker for a second. We're going to do this by usually how we do amigurumi. So we're going to put this up. I'm sorry, I keep going in and out of focus. So we're going to put our hook in the front loop of those next 2 stitches, and then single crochet like normal. Put our stitch marker back in the stitch we just made. Then single crochet, and that will be the next 10. Okay, so we are now up 10 single crochets to the stitch. We're right to the stitch marker. And then we're going to do a decrease there again. So I'm going to do it with putting the hook in the front loops of the next 2 stitches. And single crochet like normal. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in the stitch we just made. And that was 1 decrease on each side. We are going to repeat that 2 more times. So we single crochet up to 1 stitch before the stitch marker. Right, so now we are one stitch before the stitch marker. for a minute. We're going to do a decrease again by putting the hook into the front loop of the next two and doing a single crochet like normal. We put our hook back in. Stitch, I think. Yeah, I always keep getting this one again. That is, don't go in that one because that's got a stitch in it. That's our first one. Alright, single crochet in the next 10. We're up to the next stitch marker. Alright, so we did 2 decreases on each side so far. We gotta do one more. So one more time we would single crochet to 1 stitch before this marker. So you'll do a decrease over those 2. Then 1 single crochet up to the next 10 or up to the next stitch marker. Oh, mine keeps going in and out of focus because those are in the way. Alright, so this, we're back to the stitch marker after that. After we did our 10, and do our decrease. Now, I would counter stitch to the word. We should have back our original 20 stitches. I finally got in 20 stitches. So just to recap, when we set up, we had after the heel turn, we had 6 stitches on top. Then we added 5 to each side of the heel flap. That is 16 single crochets. And after 1 round of decreases, that goes down to 14. Then 1 more decrease, another decrease would bring it down to 12, and then the last one. So we're doing 3 rows of decrease on each side to bring it down to a total of 20 stitches. We had 10 on the back and 10 on the front. I don't know, off camera I was having an issue. I was having issues, but not, you know, that simply enough. That's it says after that we did 3 rows of decreases on that, and now if you look at our sock, it looks like it's starting to actually look like a sock. It's like there's the top and there's our heel. So we have a total of 4 rows already now. So if we wanted to do like 7, I'm going to do 3 more rows to see what it looks like if we're ready for the toe. So we had like, actually, so we have 5. Actually, we're going to do, I'm going to start with 5 more rows. We're going to do 5 rows of single crochet evenly around and let you know what this looks like. So obviously this is subjective of how you want your sock to look like. So we're going to do 5 more rows. Actually, I'm going to consult this other sock. So we have from the heel flap. So again, we have 7 rows. So right now we have from the heel flap, we already have 4 rows. So I'm going to do 3 more rows. All right. I'm going to do 3 more rows of single crochet evenly around. We don't even have to, we don't even probably need stitch markers anymore. So about 3 more rounds, so when we get back to the bottom, the heel bottom of the sock. So I'm going to do 3 rounds and then I'll be back. Alright, so this is, I did 3 more rounds. And I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 more rounds. So I'm going to do 2 more rounds. That's 5 rounds after all the decreases. And then I will get back with you. And then we're going to form this toe part. Alright, so I did 2 more rounds and I think that'll be a good length because we can start to toe. If you want a little longer, you could add more rows, and same with over here if you want to add a few more. But now we're going to make the toe. So now what we're going to do is make your, okay, there's your back of your heel. So I'm just going to lay it this way. Then there are ends for our decrease, and I'm going to decrease 2 stitches on each side. So if we're back over here, if we divide like 10 stitch, find where 10 stitches are on each side of the sock. Alright, so we're going to look at our edge and then we're going to go back. I'm going to go back 2 stitches. I'm going to mark it right. I'm going to mark it right there. That's where we're going to decrease before the end here. And I'm going to turn you over because we're going to eventually decrease those 2. I'm going to count. Counting the one we just marked. I'm going to count 12 stitches. 1. Yeah, about 2 before the end. About right. So this is about the 8th. Okay, I'm trying not to make it sound confusing. But if we fold you in half, we want to do 2 stitches by the end. We fold it exactly in half. That's 2 stitches back. And then in this stitch over here, we're going to count 8 stitches, not including those 2. Actually, we're going to count 10 stitches. So we got 1 here. We're going to count, we're going to not count these 2 stitches. We're going to count 10 stitches from this one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that looks about like 2 from the end. See if that looks like that's about 2 from the end. That's alright. Right, nodding. This should be from marker to marker. So if we want to keep it simple, so if we put the sock folded about in half where we want it, we're back 2 stitches. Alright. So now that we've marked our sock up, actually we're going to single crochet up to the stitch marker. Alright, so at this stitch marker we're going to do our decrease like before. Then we're going to put our stitch marker back in that stitch. Over in the next two, we're going to decrease again. We're at stitch front two. So yeah, we're doing 2 decreases on each side. So now then we single crochet up to the stitch marker. We're going to decrease. Take that out. Do our decrease over the next 2. Don't lose our stitch here. Put our stitch marker back. That stitch. And we're going to decrease again. One more time. Alright, so we had decreased 4 stitches. So we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Single crochet up to the stitch marker, decrease the next 2, put the stitch marker, decrease again in the next 2, stitch marker, single crochet up to the stitch marker, decrease in the next, in those 2 stitches and the next 2. So here. Okay, so that's this one. Yeah, put my stitch marker in funky. We're going to decrease the next 2. And also, and put our stitch marker back in there, and then we decrease again in the next 2. And then we're going to single crochet up to the stitch marker. And we're going to do the same thing again. decrease, single crochet 2 together, put our stitch marker back in the one we just did, and single crochet again in the next 2. And that's how our sock is looking. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to do that one more time, and then we're going to finish up this sock. Okay, so I took out my stitch markers already. So to decreasing, we should have 8 stitches left. So now it's time to sew up back over here, sew up the seam for our cuff, and finish up this sock down here. Oh, scissors. We're cutting off a piece. Alright, so what we're going to do now is put our needle through the front loops of all the stitches. Oh, I think that wasn't supposed to do that. And then finish it up, pull it tight. I'm just going to put this through the side. We got to turn the whole sock inside out anyway to finish up the cuff. I got caught on that. Alright, so we're going to kind of secure a little bit more and then tie that off. Alright, I just picked up a few more stitches on the inside to make it a little more secure. Alright, trim that off. We gotta finish up sewing this side. So if we look at our pattern, we want, this is this is the front loop of this stitch, so we want to see that front loop. But we'll probably want to pick, we'll probably see, because we only want to see one of these loops. But if we look at the inside, that we don't want to see. Alright, so what we're going to actually do, oh, close. So through the front loop on this one, see, we're going to go through both loops. Oh, okay, I think why it keeps going out of focus. All this stuff's in the way. We're going to show that later. And my needle comes out again. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to sew through both loops on one and the front loop of this one, and then I will be back. Alright, sew it out the seam. Again, just sew it in a couple stitches to secure that. Alright, oh, got that. Oh. Gonna cut that off. Turn it back inside out. There we have our little mini sock. So yeah, if you wanted to do a few more rows before the toe, you can. So you haven't noticed that yet. We can, that it kind of doing continuous rounds, the sock kind of did that, so you could block it, which I don't have a tool to block it, but I guess you would get it wet, try to lay it flat. Maybe pin it on something, or I thought about doing stuff. You can stuff your sock with stuff. You know, if it's gonna be for Christmas, you can put candy and stuff. So I'm gonna put some stuffing in it, or you know, you can be cotton balls. It kind of fills it out. Like I said, cotton balls might be cheaper. And if you leave enough room, you don't want it. I guess you can sew it shut if you want to, or you know, or stuff it with things like, there you are, like candy. And if you wanted to, you could put a chain on here so you can hang it. So there you go. There you have your miniature sock. Oh, I like stuffing that like that. So if you did like this tutorial, please get a like. See more content like this, please subscribe to our channel. I want to thank you always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.